To the East, another special group. Cavs and Celtics. LeBron returns and scores 31 points in his first playoff game in Boston since a masterful performance in 2012. Kevin Love was the one who actually fit in, though, last night, Skip Bayless. Love had his best game of the postseason career, which is a short one, 3 games, particularly from behind the three-point line. In fact, he made twice as many threes last night than he had in the first 2 games combined.
Each game is going to be very different. It has been so far for me individually. First game, had to get the nerves out the way. Second game was in foul trouble. And tonight, I kind of just found my rhythm and had a lot of open shots for my teammates who were able to find me.
Rhythm is important in all aspects of life. Cleveland moved 1 win away from a sweep. So Stephen A. Smith, let's talk about Kevin Love and his performance. A blip? Trend?
Well, I think it could be a trend more so than a blip because he can shoot the basketball. It's not an aberration to see him hit 6 threes. It's not an aberration to see him put up 23 points off of that. Now, he was averaging 16 and 10 on the season, but the reality is that when the ball touches his hands, Kevin Love is going to drain perimeter shots. That he can do.
Okay.
He can do. So it's not foreign territory. And the Cavaliers, to their credit, recognize that you're going to need him to play that way in order to win these playoff series. What you saw in Boston last night, keep in mind that that's a prelude of things to come. The reality is that the Boston Celtics, a scrappy team, they've got nothing else to go on. They literally got up in LeBron and everybody's face, and they were challenging him. They were getting physical with him. They were knocking him to the floor, etc. You saw J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert damn near ready to fight. That's what their presence, their arrival in Cleveland has brought, a level of nastiness, the kind of mentality that says we're not going to just look at you and ward off anything. We will be ready to fight. We ain't going to let you ain't going to let you mess with our boy. And that's the mentality. And I think that's helped LeBron immensely because he recognizes he's got guys that got his back. But also Love recognizes that they got his back too. Just go out there and do your job. And he went out there and he did just that. They were giving him the ball. He had a lot of open shots. He was draining them. Kyrie Irving didn't have the greatest game, but watching this kid's ball handling skills and the way he can dance on people, Kyrie Irving is nasty. I mean that in a very good way. This brother is on another level. The way he can dance on people, he can get an open shot for guys on the court anytime he wants to. Anytime he wants to. And then when you have J.R. Smith, who's usually on the opposite side of the floor of a Kevin Love, pick your poison. Because Kyrie Irving told me last night that was 911. That's what J.R. We might as well call him 911. In case of emergency, we dialed him. Boom. J.R. Smith, a 3 here, a J there. LeBron James is absolutely sensational. We know what he did with his 31 points, his 4 steals, by the way, 11 rebounds. He was absolutely sensational, and he answered the bell. But when you talk about Kevin Love, what I liked about what I saw last night is that he seemed to be somebody that has learned more and more how to fit in. They're incredibly confident with giving him the ball for perimeter shots. And more importantly, the Kevin Love I saw last night was somebody that knew his teammates wanted him to have the ball, which was very important. You see a guy like Iman Shumpert got something to prove. Nasty defender, wants to shut down people. J.R. Smith, he's happy to be in Cleveland doing his thing. By the way, he says his golf game, he hasn't even played golf because he's been in Cleveland. He has to wait till the offseason.
Well, just an FYI.
I hope not.
He's focused.
He said he's not playing. He said he hasn't been playing golf. But the thing about it is that, again, they look at it, and their mentality is that we need Kevin Love. Kevin Love seems to know it, and he seems to be more comfortable. And if that is truly the case and isn't just a one-game aberration, then everybody better look out, because that's the kind of thing that will help deliver Cleveland a championship.
So the key takeaway for me from last night, the key development was 5 minutes. That's how long Kevin Love was able to play, was given the right to play in the 4th quarter. How many times have we talked about Kevin Love doesn't even get to play in the 4th quarter? How many times have you brought that up? Doesn't even play? So he earned 5 minutes of playing time in the 4th quarter. That was significant because that hadn't been going on here. And he earned it by making, he'd made 4 threes to that point. Then he took 2 more in the 4th and made both of those. Well, to Kerry's question, blip or trend? my instincts right now are blip on that. But if this is a trend, LeBron's going to win his 3rd ring because this man is the X factor. If Patty Mills is the X factor for my Spurs, Kevin Love has become the X factor for this team. He is finally embracing the only role he can have as one of the big 3 in Cleveland. He's a spot-up shooter. I mean, in the end, he has to be that guy. And he was stepping into those shots like he was enjoying his role last night. That's the first time I've seen where he would catch it and shoot it knowing full well, like you said, he has the greenest of lights from LeBron and Kyrie when he's got that open 3, even kind of a semi-open 3. They do not mind if he steps into it and shoots it like he means it. He shot every one of those shots like they were going to go in, and 6 of them went in. That was highly impressive. If he can continue, now that didn't happen in the first game or the second game of this series, but it happened this time. Was it a breakthrough? Maybe. Look, I'm going to dismiss everything I've watched for 3 games because you and I are on the same page about this. This is going to be a sweep. So I can't take away much significance from what I'm seeing here because the way LeBron's playing against these guys, it's just man among boys. To me, doesn't he continue to flex his physical superiority over an Evan Turner when he blocked him at the rim? I'm
going to take a moment to give Boston a little bit of credit. I like this kid, Jay Crowder. I think he's got a promising future. But not only that, people like him are rare finds, and they're special to watch because he's a physical specimen that knows he is and utilized it last night. Not necessarily to his advantage, but it was only because he was going against the greatest player in the world. That's all that happened. He was going against the best in the world. But you can't play LeBron much tougher in terms of he was in his face, he was physical with him, he's just not superior of a player or an athlete. That's all.
He's just not.
He's just not. That's all it was.
But he's got strength and he's got will.
You want him on a team with talent because you want somebody like him. Like he's like a poor man's version of Draymond Green. You know, sort of Draymond Green is more skilled or whatever, but he's a poor man's version of that. Doesn't know quite how to play the way Draymond Green does. But Crowder has a lot of promise.
Or the way Kawhi plays LeBron. That's a whole different world.
But that's right. But you look at Kawhi. I'm sorry, not Kawhi. But you look at Kyrie. Kyrie, LeBron, Kevin Love averaged 69 points in the first 2 games. You know, Kyrie was averaging 28. LeBron was averaging 25. So Kevin Love only averaged 16. Last night was Kevin Love's night as opposed to Kyrie. So what we've learned is that even though we talk about the big 3, on most nights, it's going to be a big 2. And one of the big 3 is going to have to take a reserve role to let the other shine because JR and Iman just fit in and evolve around that. So does Moskov and Tristan Thompson as well. So when you look at it from that perspective, the big 3, it's rarely going to be all 3 of them bringing it to you. It's usually going to be 2 of the 3. But where Kevin Love becomes incredibly pivotal is that when teams want to get physical with Cleveland, and then they got to buckle down and answer that bell to way to offset that, losing that role, you know, that battle of physicality, you got to be able to step out on the perimeter. And Kevin Love is the one to do that because he's a better shooter than Chris Bosh was. As good as Chris Bosh is, Kevin Love is a natural.
That's close. That's close.
What I'm saying,
Chris Bosh could make big clutch threes.
Chris Bosh can make big clutch threes, but Chris Bosh is a better player in terms of his versatility.
No doubt.
But Kevin Love is a better shooter. Chris Bosh has a better all-around offensive game. Because of that, you need Kevin Love to pull those big boys away from the basket. And he can do it. And that's going to free up LeBron and Kyrie.
Isn't this the recipe that LeBron loves the most?
That's right.
He can get the ball in the lane, and he is so gifted at seeing out of his peripherals. You know, we were the open threes. If they can make those open threes, JR, Kyrie, Kevin Love, it's so hard to defend them.
I'm going to tell you what the key to Cleveland's success is, and you heard it here. Iman Shumpert.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you why it's Iman Shumpert. I told you when he was in New York. I told you he got a bad rap. You remember when people were critical of him, I was the one guy that loved Iman. I loved me some Iman Shumpert. This kid is athletic. He's got good size, legit 6'4", 6'5", and Skip, he despises people scoring on him. He just he beats himself over the head when people scoring him. This is a guy with LeBron that gives you two shutdown defenders at any moment. That's what allows Kevin Love to get on the floor.
Right.
The problem with Kevin Love offensively, but if you got other guys making it up, particularly against teams who will elect to try and go small against them, then you can keep Kevin Love on the floor because you got LeBron and Iman Shumpert who can defend. That's key.
Okay, well, it's about to get real because
Is
the
it?
Bulls are coming.
Is it about to get real?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
now we'll start to find out what the Cavs
What
are
they're all
really
about.
made of.
What they're all about. All right, our
By
basketball
the way,
power.
last quick point.
Make it.
Jay Crowder is in Boston only because
Why?
Rondo is in Dallas, right? He's part of that trade.
That's right.
So they really scored on
Basketball
the trade, right?
Power Index says that the Cavs have a 50% chance, more than a 50% chance of sweeping. Last night, Kevin Love said this. His whole career, everyone has been talking about what he couldn't do. And last night he showed you guys what he could do.
Kevin Love can play now.
To the White House. Brady was too big to attend.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I'm not sure that's why.
Obama does his best impersonation of a comedian. We will show it to you when we return. The gentleman will react. But we also want to let you know there's plenty more coming up in the next hour plus. Go over to our Instagram. Check out the rundown. Leave comments. Debate if you'd like. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
Now, he was averaging 16 and 10 on the season, but the reality is that when the ball touches his hands, Kevin Love is going to drain perimeter shots. That he can do.
Okay.
He can do. So it's not foreign territory. And the Cavaliers, to their credit, recognize that you're going to need him to play that way in order to win these playoff series.
To the East, another special group. Cavs and Celtics. LeBron returns and scores 31 points in his first playoff game in Boston since a masterful performance in 2012. Kevin Love was the one who actually fit in, though, last night, Skip Bayless. Love had his best game of the postseason career, which is a short one, 3 games, particularly from behind the three-point line. In fact, he made 20 in all aspects of life. Cleveland moved 1-1 away from a sweep. So Stephen A. Smith, let's talk about Kevin Love and his performance. A blip? Trend?
Well, I think it could be a trend more so than a blip because he can shoot the basketball. It's not an aberration to see him hit 6 threes. It's not an aberration to see him put up 23 points off of that.
Twice as many threes last night than he had in the first 2 games combined.
Each game is going to be very different. It has been so far for me individually. First game, had to get the nerves out the way. Second game was in foul trouble. And tonight, kind of just found my rhythm and had a lot of open shots for my teammates who were able to find me.
Rhythm is important.
What you saw in Boston last night, keep in mind that that's a prelude of things to come. The reality is that the Boston Celtics, a scrappy team, they've got nothing else to go on. They literally got up in LeBron and everybody's face, and they were challenging them. They were getting physical with him. They were knocking him to the floor, etc. You saw J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert damn near ready to fight.